Okay, so you're just going to start with a pencil and you are going to draw on here and you're going to experiment with making designs in these boxes. The reason that there are grids is so you can connect these lines. Ooh, and it's going to tip over. There we go. You can connect one point to another. So if you wanted to connect this point to this point, it makes it a lot easier to do that quickly since there is a grid on there, right? It's a lot faster. So you can create that design quicker. You can go back over the lines that are already there, okay? We're not looking for anything that's perfect, so the lines might not be completely straight or line up right where they should, but it's trying to get some type of design on there and experiment with what it looks like. I have some people who they stare at this worksheet and they don't even know what to do. Well, try to connect different points. Maybe you want to connect and you want to connect points like this and do something, okay, that looks like that. You're just experimenting, okay, and connecting different places to see what it's going to look like. Okay, so you give that a shot and see what you think. You might say, oh, I really like that one, or you say, ooh, that one's not very good, okay? So we have 12 of them. We're going to experiment with all of them and see what you can get and what kind of designs you can come up with, okay? So maybe I would go and make these a little bit different. Okay, so I have like one that's on top and this one's behind. Maybe I want to see this line like it looks like it's behind there. Okay, maybe I want to have these like points. Okay, so you're just experimenting over and over to see what you can come up with. Maybe I want it to be more asymmetrical where I have the sides aren't the same. And maybe you do one and then you think, well, I want to try this differently on the next one. I'm going to try it like this. So then I can draw this one to the corner. And I think I end up liking this one more than I end up liking that one. Okay, maybe I'll even do some straight lines here. Okay, so you kind of experiment as you're going along. There are some different tools that you can use. There's this like 360 like one that you can use that gives you a curve. So just like using a ruler to make a line, you could use one of these and connect like one point to another point with a curve. Okay, same thing over here where you could do that and connect. And I'll do one there. So this one has a bigger curve to it. You could use something that has a smaller curve, and maybe you would do, I don't know, something like this. No, it needs to go. So this makes it easy. It makes it fast to draw something over and over if you have the exact same thing to use. So you're just connecting the points and drawing that curve. Okay, so using a curve, we're going to eventually use a ruler, but on this we don't have to. But I would just think about, just like I said, experimenting and figuring out what could you do and how could you make this design using these boxes. Okay, I think that one might be kind of neat. Because we're going to repeat, the only rule in this project is that every box has to have the exact same thing drawn in it. And so that means you're going to have 6 boxes on the longer sides and 4 boxes on the top and the bottom. The only thing that I don't allow people to do is this design. Okay, there's way more out there than just doing a plus sign and an X. Okay, and that's what I want you to push yourself to try and come up with something other than that. There's so many things out there that you could do. So we're going to do something other than that. Okay, even like this. Or going the opposite with even this curved one. And getting some, like a circle kind of shape with this. Okay, so all kinds of things that you can do. Once we get to this point, I want you to take a marker and we're going to trace over it because we are not keeping the grid. Okay, the grid is not part of the design. The grid helps us get to the design. Okay, helps us make the design easily. So if you did that and you can take a marker and go back over this, you can actually see what that design is going to look like. Okay, you can see that much better than you can if you don't have the marker on there. Okay, and again, it doesn't have to be perfect. Kind of wondered what this one would look like if I... Okay, so you get the idea. You would go through and put marker on them, so you're kind of getting rid of that grid and being able to see just the design that you drew. Okay, so after that, you are picking one of those designs, and one of them I want you to have it where it's cut out so we can rearrange it. And let me show you why I think that's important. I'm going to go ahead and do this design. And so I'm going to draw this, and I'm drawing this in marker. It's probably better to draw it in pencil first, because if you mess up, then you're going to have to start over. But I'm going to draw the exact same thing and cut these out, so then we can rearrange them and we'll be able to see what kind of design you're actually going to get. And I have one other design that I did this morning that I will show you. Okay, last one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these out and move this up so you can see both of them. It's really hard to visualize what will happen when you rotate something and what it's going to look like next to something else. And so that's why I have people go ahead and draw these and then cut them out, because this way you are able to fully visualize what this is going to look like. Okay, so those. Okay, so let's look at this and kind of get an idea. I've got one other design over here. So as you look at it, you can put these together and you can see how they're going to make a design just by the rotation that you place them at. Okay, so you can see how that turns this into a different kind of design. Do you see that? Whereas if you were to put these together, okay, like look how cool that is, because you have like these pieces on the side. Okay, do you see what I mean? So you get one design by putting them in this direction, but even like switching these, you would end up with a different design this way. Yeah, do you see how this can be different? Okay, so same thing on this one. This is the design that I did right here, okay? So I have these already cut out, and so I can get something different on just the way that I arrange these. Okay, so this ends up with like diamonds that go down the center of it. Okay, and has the other pieces on the sides. Okay, but the same thing, it's going to be different if I rotate these, right, and put them this way. I'm going to get a completely different design there. Okay, and who's to say that I couldn't do something different and do a design like that? Okay, so there are lots of options, and you think about it, the only thing you're drawing is this over and over. Okay, it's just where you're drawing it and how you've rotated it. Okay, so same thing, both of these, every single person, whoops, in here is capable of drawing this. Okay, so you've got to think about what you want to do, and I mean, this is pretty fun to be able to see what kind of designs you can make with something very simple. It's just that repetition of, let's see, this way. No, I want it to go this way. Okay, and you can see them moving the other direction. Okay, so lots of things. This stuff is everywhere on all kinds of clothes, on all kinds of like business stuff. I mean, just the repetition of any kind of design. All kinds of graphic design stuff, you'll see things like this. Okay, so this is where we're headed. What's nice about it is you can, at least one of them needs to be, so we have these blank pages, okay, that these will simulate the side of a pot. So you can see like this one, okay, this has the side of a pot, this one has the lid that lifts off, and you can see that they did the same thing. They end up with these X's. This person has one, okay, that the design wraps all the way around, okay, it's seamless, and so you're thinking about it like that. So you could draw, you could use this design and draw it 4 different ways, okay, if you wanted to. Or you could just do one of them from the pieces that you cut out, and then you could pick 3 other ones from the front and draw those other 3, okay? However you want to do it is fine with me, but they all need to be different. Even if they're the same shape, they're arranged differently, okay? And you could also think about it, this lifts off from the top, like the taller part here. I have had kids who have made them this direction too. And so they're like long and skinny, and the top part lifts off here. Okay, totally up to you on which way you want to do it, if you want it to be tall or if you want it to be wide.